What's burning? What's burning? What's burning with KB?
It's time for What's Burnin' with Kevin KB Burns, presented by Bill Lacasse and SRG Financial Advisors. But first, please join us as we honor our great nation with the playing of our national anthem. And now your host, Kevin KB Burns.
Hey, welcome in. It is What's Burnin' right here on Lake TV. KB, glad to be with you for another great show, man. And I tell you what, we've definitely pulled all the stops out for this one. We are covering all the bases, including an interview with my good friend and Second Amendment advocate, Dan Wass. He and I are going to talk about the government, firearms, you name it. Also, Peyton Emery, who is with the Missouri Department of Conservation. We've got indigenous snakes in the studio as part of the show today, plus a lot of fun. Of course, everybody loves a good snake. And last but certainly not least, our good friend in studio with us, Professor Jim Paisley. We're going to talk about some recent happenings with the Supreme Court, the EPA, and some things that you definitely need to keep in mind. KB's furry friends on the program to round it all out today, and we couldn't do it without the help of our great sponsors. Our title sponsor, SRG Financial Advisors, Budget Blinds, Ozarks Barge and Dock, our veterinary at the lake, and the official bottled water of What's Burnin'. It's Culligan Lake of the Ozarks, 573-346-5221. Stick around, it's all coming up right here on Lake TV.
While the financial services industry for years has focused on products, pricing, and performance, or things we refer to at SRG as the how, our focus for our clients has always been around their why. And without fail, over all these years, those whys have centered around family, occupation, and recreation. Think legacy issues, retirement, or achieving a work-optional lifestyle, and checking off those important things on that recreational bucket list. Our foundational approach remains a focus on the things that matter most to our clients and the things that together we can control. And where those two things overlap, that's where we live and work every day. That's SRG Financial and the Mile Marker Formula.
Looking for blinds, shades, shutters, drapes, or bedroom makeovers? On a budget? You need Budget Blinds in Laurie. Bring your ideas to us, or let our design consultants help you create the perfect look for your home. Because Budget Blinds is nationwide, our collective buying power enables us to search many major brands to bring you the blinds, shades, shutters, and drapes you want for less. Budget Blinds. Call us for a free consultation. Budget Blinds, the best in custom blinds and window coverings.
It was a Saturday. Chris was a good dad. His water practices, not so much. Hey, Chris.
Hey, Culligan. Got a water pitcher for the fam. Pretty safe, huh?
Well, basic water pitchers are passable, whereas a Culligan reverse osmosis system can reduce lead, arsenic, pesticide runoff.
You realize these have filters?
Chris, pour it out.
It's not going fast enough. Just done with that.
When your water's right, so is your world. I wrote that!
There's a new radio station at the lake, a radio station that's geared towards the community, a radio station where you can have a hand in what we do. Welcome to Key Radio, a community-based radio station that invites you to be a part of the solution. We encourage you to become a content creator. That's right, you provide the content. Listen in at 89.3 or online at keyradio.live. To find out more about becoming a content creator, call 573-280-0532.
want a dock that will withstand the wake from a million boats? Want a dock that's different from the usual dock? Then you want Ozark Barge and Dock in Gravois Mills. Ozark Barge and Dock, now celebrating 33 years of building the best dock on Lake of the Ozarks. And we guarantee every dock we build. So when it comes time to build your custom dock, trust the best and go with Ozark Barge and Dock, building the best dock at the lake for the last 33 years.
Hey, thanks for joining us here on What's Burning on Lake TV. KB with you, along with my good friend, Mr. Dan Wass. He is the author of the Good Gun, Bad Guy series. He's got a great web, I guess if you want to call it like a webcast is the best way to put it. It's called loadedmike.com. And, of course, he's a contributor to ammoland.com as well. And Dan is a huge Second Amendment advocate, and anytime we want to talk Second Amendment, this is the guy, the go-to guy, if you will, and it's great to have him with us today on What's Burning. Dan, how you doing?
Hey, KB, always great to be on your show, and as always, thanks for having me.
No problem, my friend. And I've got to say, it seems like here lately, the times that we have spoken, there's always been something going on, whether it was the shooting down in Texas and more recently what happened over the 4th of July weekend in Chicago. But I got to say, we have talked so much about people trying to legislate their way out of issues with firearms or try to throw money at issues regarding firearms. And I think as we can tell that those types of situations just aren't working. And again, you find yourself in an area where it's after the fact, everyone is emotionally charged, and so then we see more things happening to our Second Amendment rights.
Well, I think, KB, we have a human violence issue that we need to deal with, and we've had this issue for decades, and we haven't dealt with it. It could relate to mental health issues. It could be just pure evil that's, perpetrated our society. I don't know exactly why humans have become so violent, but I do know one thing is that in this situation where most Democrats in Congress and our governors and even our president, while they're trying to disarm the citizens, the good people, the lawful Americans, and simultaneously letting more criminals out of jail through early release and bail reform, I think it's probably a good idea now that people start considering gun ownership for self-defense, protection of yourself and your family. However, the narrative is the exact opposite. They don't want you doing that. They're trying to discourage gun ownership while they make society more dangerous. So, my opinion is, it's probably a good time for people to smarten up and look at gun ownership as a way of protecting yourself.
It certainly seems like it couldn't hurt, and the more and more armed people you have, the more and more people who are going through this the legal way and obtaining firearms legally, educating themselves, training themselves. It would seem to me like that would be a huge deterrent to criminals. But our legislators and people who hold elected office are in some cases trying to discourage that. They don't want people getting firearms. They don't want people being protected. They don't want people to take full advantage of the Second Amendment. They'd much rather see them be victims. So again, groups like the federal government can come in and take care of all of our woes, take care of all of our problems, and leave us defenseless. I believe it was it the mayor of New Jersey who had said that owning a firearm is not a good idea whatsoever. And I know you made a video about this particular topic, especially with what the governor of New York, your home state, had to say about all of this. And they see this as more of something that's getting in their way, more of a hurdle for the federal government and for state governments as well, as they try so desperately through means such as this and red flag laws to disarm the citizenry.
Yeah, well, it's true. And, our non-elected governor, Kathy Hochul, is doing everything she can to defy the current Supreme Court Bruin decision, which was carefully written to support and defend the Second Amendment. She's doing everything she can to defy that, and so are some other Democrats, primarily Democrats. Although we do have some Republicans getting on board and helping the Democrats, helping them out, and they need to be voted out. But so yeah, they don't seem to like the idea that citizens, good people, can defend themselves. It seems that a lot of these gun grabbers are trying to create a victim-predator society. And you have to ask yourself, why would they do that? I mean, for instance, appointed Governor Hochul, she, not too long ago, let out almost 200 prisoners from Rikers Island, while simultaneously cracking down on gun laws that put good people, make them, unarmed and helpless. So you got to ask yourself, are they getting something out of creating this victim-predator society? I would imagine yes, or they wouldn't be doing it.
The whole goal in all of this is to completely and totally disarm the citizenry, which is going to make it easy for a lot of things that the government would like to do, make it very easy for these types of things to happen. I think in this day and age, we have to look at where we are and understand and realize that the government is supposed to essentially be working for us. It's not supposed to be the other way around. And we also need to learn that every time we have a problem, we can't run screaming to the government, help us, do anything at all to help us. And that's normally how we leave ourselves pretty wide open, Dan.
Well, you'll notice it with guns. If the more people that are unarmed and helpless become dependent upon police and dependent on government for their safety, the more people who are on welfare become dependent on the government for money. And the more people who are, restricted with their travel for whatever reason, are dependent on government transportation. And these are just a few examples of the ways the way that I see it anyway, that government is trying to make society as dependent as possible. I think taking away your ability to protect yourself and your family is probably the most heinous and evil way of making people dependent. But they're certainly trying, and they won't get away with it because I believe our Constitution is stronger than the Marxists and the socialist or communist Democrats that are in office.
I think a lot of it has to do with the technique of modification and how we are being modified more and more by our government to be more reliant upon them for whatever it may be, a job, some sort of financial help during a crisis. It just seems like it continues to grow and grow and grow. And as we work through with future generations, will they become more dependent upon the government for their own existence? Or at some point, will somebody wake up and say, hey, listen, this has got to stop. It's we the people, we're the ones in charge.
Yeah, and I think it's starting to stop. Honestly, I think what's happening, especially with this decision regarding the New York City Bruin case, and also the Roe v. Wade overturning. I think people are starting to wake up and say, no, we don't want government in our lives that much. It's dangerous for the people. And I think what happened is the Supreme Court actually rolled up the Constitution and smacked the Democrats right across the face with it in those two cases. And that's a beautiful thing.
It's something that needed to happen. It's that cold slap of reality, I think, that a lot of people talk about. And it gets people more involved in what they need to be doing. Hopefully, people will understand that there is a need for personal responsibility, that you are indeed responsible for your actions. You have to take upon the consequences of your actions, as a lot of people would say. And certainly, this is an opportunity for people to wake up. We're coming up on an election on August the 2nd, and then again on November the 8th. And hopefully the citizenry will send a clear message to legislators as to what it is they want. That's our hope anyway, Dan.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I think it's going to happen. Everything that I hear is leaning toward, Republicans taking over the House and possibly the Senate. Once we do that, I think we're going to put a stop to this, to a lot of these, Joe Biden administration, policies, and it'll also be a reminder, I think, to state governors that they can no longer, misuse their power, really, and remind them that they really are employees of the people, and there are elected employees, and they're supposed to represent us. And I think, every once in a while, I think the people have to speak up and say, this is your job. You don't tell us what to do. We tell you what to do. And I think we're at the beginning of that big reminder to them.
Got a minute or so left here, and I just wanted to ask you, what do you recommend to people? What do you tell people as far as getting involved, becoming engaged, being more aware of what it means as far as the Second Amendment is concerned?
Well, it's probably the most important piece of our Constitution and Bill of Rights, as far as I'm concerned. It's the one thing that protects everything else. I would suggest that if you're at all interested in gun ownership, look into it. Meet up with some people who are already gun owners and who can help you and answer your questions. Mm-hmm. Become a gun owner if that's what you like. Don't be scared of them, and learn about them, because with education on guns, you will be you can be a responsible gun owner, and you can be able to protect yourself and your family. That's the first thing. The other thing is support the organizations that are defending that Second Amendment. Support the big national gun rights organizations, because they're the ones in court. They're the ones, if it wasn't for New York State Rifle and Pistol, we wouldn't have this, this big Supreme Court decision that was in our favor. Mm-hmm. So support your state groups as well. Every state has a gun rights organization. Support them, and I think we'll be okay if we have that. If we have them defending us in court.
He is the author of the Good Gun Bad Guy series. He hosts LoadedMike.com. And he's a contributor to AmmoLand.com. Dan Wass, thank you so much for being with us here on What's Burning.
Thanks, pal. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Hey, we're back with more on Lake TV.
Enjoying What's Burning with KB right here on Lake TV? Have questions, comments, or suggestions? Have an interesting story for KB to tell? Or maybe you want to be interviewed by KB on the show or are interested in sponsoring? All you have to do is reach out to KB at kb@mylaketv.com.
Your furry friends are more than pets, they're family. And at our veterinary, we understand that. With multiple locations, we can service your pets when and where you need it. Our team of professionals offers routine wellness, orthopedic care from broken bones to joint repair, and even emergency services. We are ready to welcome your pet to our family with medical or preventative care. With multiple convenient locations, our veterinary is the team providing exceptional care for your pet when and where you need it.
Looking for blinds, shades, shutters, drapes, or bedroom makeovers? On a budget? You need Budget Blinds in Laurie. Bring your ideas to us, or let our design consultants help you create the perfect look for your home. Because Budget Blinds is nationwide, our collective buying power enables us to search many major brands to bring you the blinds, shades, shutters, and drapes you want for less. Budget Blinds. Call us for a free consultation. Budget Blinds, the best in custom blinds and window coverings.
Join Lake TV for a cup of coffee with Will and Chris, the Lake area's only local TV talk show focused on the Lake area. Local stories, local sports, and local events. Have a cup of coffee with Will and Chris weekdays at 8, 1, and 8 on Lake TV.
While the financial services industry for years has focused on products, pricing, and performance, or things we refer to at SRG as the how, our focus for our clients has always been around their why. And without fail, over all these years, those whys have centered around family, occupation, and recreation. Think legacy issues, retirement, or achieving a work-optional lifestyle, and checking off those important things on that recreational bucket list. Our foundational approach remains a focus on the things that matter most to our clients and the things that together we can control. And where those two things overlap, that's where we live and work every day. That's SRG Financial and the Mile Marker Formula.
There's a new radio station at the lake, a radio station that's geared towards the community, a radio station where you can have a hand in what we do. Welcome to Key Radio, a community-based radio station that invites you to be a part of the solution. We encourage you to become a content creator. That's right, you provide the content. Listen in at 89.3 or online at keyradio.live. To find out more about becoming a content creator, call 573-280-0532.
You want a dock that will withstand the wake from a million boats? Want a dock that's different from the usual dock? Then you want Ozark Barge and Dock in Gravois Mills. Ozark Barge and Dock, now celebrating 33 years of building the best dock on Lake of the Ozarks. And we guarantee every dock we build. So when it comes time to build your custom dock, trust the best and go with Ozark Barge and Dock, building the best dock at the lake for the last 33 years.
Hey, welcome back to What's Burning here on Lake TV, and from time to time, I like to stir things up just a little bit. So I talked to my good friend here, Peyton Emery. He's with the Missouri Department of Conservation, and I said, Peyton, my friend, how about bringing in some snakes, some indigenous snakes that you would see in the area? Because I don't know about you, but I've looked on social media and people put a picture. Can you tell me what kind of snake this is? Is this a venomous snake? Do I need to be scared? Well, I would always say, quite frankly, if you're not sure, get the heck away from the snake. That's normally how it works. But we asked Peyton to come in here today and bring several snakes, one of which is on the counter here, but it is just a model of a copperhead. I don't think you could get a copperhead to be that relaxed in the situation we're in.
No, we wouldn't be that relaxed.
No, you're quite right. I'm still a little, well, not uncomfortable, but let's talk a little bit about some of these snakes that we brought in, and if you'd like to grab either one. We saved the big box for last, by the way. We just want everybody to know. I'm not quite sure what's in there, but we're going to find out here shortly. So let's grab one of these containers with one of these good-looking snakes in it, and get it out for people to see. This is what?
Well, this is going to be the first snake we've got, and it's called it's a king snake, is what it is, and it's a speckled king snake. Western speckled king snake is what we have here in Missouri.
Right.
These are very friendly snakes, especially this one. This is a very friendly. Hold him, he's just going to slither around, and he's really smooth right now because he just shed his skin. But just like all other non-venomous snakes, this one's going to have the round pupils right here, and this is a very recognizable snake. This is probably one of my more favorite snakes. Mostly because it likes to eat other snakes. This one will actually eat venomous snakes because it doesn't get affected by the venom.
Apparently, I understand the speckled king snake likes to eat its own mother-in-law. Just thought I'd put that out there today. Is that something that would be okay for me to try and hold? Or?
Absolutely. This is probably the more friendlier one that I brought today.
Look at that. And if you wonder whether or not snakes are slimy, folks, they're really not too slimy unless, of course, they're shedding their skin. Then they get a little slimy.
Yep.
And you help them out with that. That's a beautiful snake. And you see these snakes all over the Lake of the Ozarks area. And what's really neat about them is when you see them, like, say, in an open field someplace and the sun hits them, and they're pretty awesome. And I think this is probably one of the more, would you say, distinctive snakes when you see it?
Absolutely. Every time you see this snake, you're going to know what it is.
Beautiful snake, and just kind of hanging out, checking everything out. You said these snakes traditionally eat other snakes, but the good news is when you see snakes around your home, you don't see a whole lot of mice, you don't see a whole lot of bugs, and apparently you don't see a whole lot of other snakes if you see a speckled king snake. What are there any snakes that kind of get confused with the speckled king snake?
Not really with the speckled king snake. We have another king snake, but it's not really commonly found. But this one is, you'll hear these as the salt and pepper king snake or salt and pepper snake.
Very nice.
But this is very distinctive of what it is.
Do you rent these out to people? This is pretty awesome.
They're pretty common. If you look in your backyard long enough, I'm sure you're going to find one.
Right on. Right on.
It likes you.
Well, that's good to know. It beats the alternative.
Yep.
So this is the speckled king snake. So what else did you bring us here today? Let's take that one and put it over there. Do you mind if I pick this up? Is that all right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
If we're going to get bit by a snake, it's going to be that one.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's good to know. That's probably a good idea to get that out of the way right now.
So this second one is going to be a rat snake, or most commonly known as a black snake.
R-A-T, rat.
You'll see this just about everywhere. You'll see it in the water. The reason why we'd get bit by this one is this one's going through the shedding process.
Okay, well then you're going to hold on to that one. I'm not going to touch it.
But I think he's going to be pretty friendly today.
Oh, that's nice. That's good.
Yeah. His eyes are kind of fogged up, so he doesn't exactly know what's going on. And he's just being really friendly with us today. If you look real closely to that, his eyes are kind of foggy there.
Yeah.
But this one will be confused with like a water snake or anything like that. You can see a little pattern like that. People may see the white or yellow bottom on that and think that it's like a cottonmouth or a water moccasin.
You want to get his head away from my face. and these snakes traditionally eat what?
They'll eat rodents. They'll eat bird eggs, birds, anything of that nature.
Yeah. So again, these are good pest removal snakes to have around the house. If you see one, best course of action, just leave the darn thing alone. It'll find its own way. It's more than likely looking for some dinner.
Looking for some dinner. Trying to warm up if you see it on the side of the road.
Very nice. Do these snakes have names? Does this snake have a name?
Nope. We don't name our snakes that we use for display. We just try to keep it with nature.
Holding on pretty tight there.
Yeah. They constrict.
I think it likes my cologne. Let me slide my hand right out of there. You got that?
Yep.
All right. Not trying to get too aggressive with you there, buddy. Just trying to let you kind of do your own thing.
Yeah.
And again, these are snakes that you would find around your house. Maybe, as you said, is this something you would find around a body of water? A lot of people probably see those like around the shoreline.
Yep, you'll see these if you got a bunch of dead wood or an old barn or some shack that you're not using. These guys will use it. They want to go where the rodents are. They want to go where the birds' nests are. So I think without a lot of human touch, the rats are going to want to be there.
Well, thank you so much for making an appearance on the program. Beautiful, and I appreciate the fact that you behaved yourself there. So we've got one other snake. I'll put this one back out of the way for you here, and we can get to the giant box, the mystery box, if you will. What we did is we took a bunch of cards, and we had people fill them out, and somebody was supposed to stick their hand in there and pull out the winning card. That's not the winning card, but... We are just going to take our time and be as patient as humanly possible. No sudden movements. Look at that. That is awesome. Peyton Emery, what have you got there?
Well, this is a bull snake. This is going to be one of the closer looking ones that we got to this copperhead, just because of its cool looking colors. You can look at its tail right here, and it's kind of got that little pattern right there where it'd be confused with maybe a rattlesnake if you've seen it out in the woods. But these are normally found in a prairie, and we're getting down to the southern end of this one's home, but we'll find these right around the Lake of the Ozarks. Any flat areas, taller grass, these will like to hang around because these like to eat birds and stuff, just like the other snake. This is our largest snake in Missouri. They're pretty cool looking. You can get
they
them,
are.
You get them like this, and they get this bright, cool color, and you can see them, but they look mean.
Well, you could see how somebody might confuse this with a copperhead. It's very easy to do, especially if you're not familiar with copperheads and other types of snakes. Somebody sees this, they're not quite sure what's going on, and the next thing you know, everybody's freaking out. But you can see a little bit from the model that we have here on the counter as to what the differences are, obviously. But people, in a lot of cases, if you run into a snake, what is the best course of action as far as the Missouri Department of Conservation?
Just avoid it. There's no point in needing to mess with a snake. Sometimes if I see a snake on the road, I'll stop and I'll grab it and I'll move it off the side of the road because I see people hit snakes all the time, and it's sad because these snakes don't deserve to get hit like that. They're just trying to warm up. But
taking a little time to maybe get a quick tan out there on the asphalt.
Yep, and they'd like to do that. They don't produce their own body heat, so they gotta steal it from somewhere, and that sun is a good source.
Yeah, so you see them out there in the afternoon or evening, getting a little sunshine.
Yep,
Just
especially
leave them
on
the
a
heck
cooler
alone.
day.
Yeah, absolutely. So one other thing we wanted to talk a little bit about is the venomous snake versus the non-venomous snake. Maybe you could point out some differences for us.
Yep, so there's a couple differences here. So we'll use this bull snake as an example. He looks kind of mean and he looks aggressive because of all his patterns and everything, and that's kind of the point. He doesn't want to be messed with something. So this copperhead right here, if you look closely at its head, you can see that it's kind of got this arrow looking shape, kind of a diamond shape towards it. That's one way that you can tell most of our snakes in Missouri that are venomous have this. If you look closely at their eye, which I don't really suggest getting close enough that you can look at their eye, but these have a straight up and down eye, kind of like whenever a cat narrows its eye. Mm-hmm. It's kind of that nature. If you look at this snake, he was looking directly at me, but he's kind of got round pupils, if you can look at that. And those round pupils are distinctive of non-venomous. Look at the patterns on this snake right here. You got pretty straight patterns, and then it's all right here on the side of speckles. Mm-hmm. This copperhead, if we're going to look at a copperhead, because some people say that they have different colors, and some may be darker, some may be lighter. This copperhead, if you're looking at it from the side, you'll see a Hershey's Kiss, just like that. Nice. And if you look at it from the top, you'll see an hourglass, and that's very distinctive of a copperhead. That's probably the best way to identify a copperhead without getting too close. Just like copperheads, a rattlesnake, a copperhead will shake its tail whenever it feels threatened. So even if a snake is shaking its tail, doesn't mean it's venomous or non-venomous, because a bull snake will shake its tail. The king snake will shake its tail. But copperheads will also shake their tail. Baby copperheads will have this bright yellow or bright orange tail on it too. This isn't a baby, so we don't have an example of it. Mm-hmm. But that's one way to identify one snake like this apart from a copperhead whenever you go out and actually see one.
But again, if you're at all in question about what's in front of you, just stay the heck away from it, and you should be in pretty good shape. Missouri Department of Conservation has a number of pamphlets, booklets, and other things that you can utilize to maybe get to be a little bit more familiar with the snakes in your region.
Absolutely. That's this booklet right here. It's the Guide to Missouri Snakes. You can go to any of our offices and pick one up. It talks about every snake we have here in Missouri. I mean, obviously, if you go to maybe our border counties, you'll see some outlier, but this covers most of them.
This is kind of what it looks like here on the cover, and these are normally free publications, aren't they?
Yep.
So they're easy to pick up. Call your local conservation office, and the folks are happy to help you out. Hey, listen, man, I appreciate you taking some time out of your day. Thank you for what you and all the officers do. We want to send a special shout out to Tyler Brown, who's recovering from a work-related injury. We miss you, buddy, and we hope to get you back in here soon. Thanks. The Snakes all did a great job. Appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me.
This is Peyton Emery from the Missouri Department of Conservation. We've got more coming up right here on What's Burning on Lake TV.
There's a new radio station at the lake, a radio station that's geared towards the community, a radio station where you can have a hand in what we do. Welcome to Key Radio, a community-based radio station that invites you to be a part of the solution. We encourage you to become a content creator. That's right, you provide the content. Listen in at 89.3 or online at keyradio.live. To find out more about becoming a content creator, call 573-280-0532.
While the financial services industry for years has focused on products, pricing, and performance, or things we refer to at SRG as the how, our focus for our clients has always been around their why. And without fail, over all these years, those whys have centered around family, occupation, and recreation. Think legacy issues, retirement, or achieving a work-optional lifestyle, and checking off those important things on that recreational bucket list. Our foundational approach remains a focus on the things that matter most to our clients and the things that together we can control. And where those two things overlap, that's where we live and work every day. That's SRG Financial and the Mile Marker Formula.
Looking for blinds, shades, shutters, drapes, or bedroom makeovers? On a budget? You need Budget Blinds in Laurie. Bring your ideas to us, or let our design consultants help you create the perfect look for your home. Because Budget Blinds is nationwide, our collective buying power enables us to search many major brands to bring you the blinds, shades, shutters, and drapes you want for less. Budget Blinds. Call us for a free consultation. Budget Blinds, the best in custom blinds and window coverings.
A move to your dream home should be exciting, not a hassle. That's why you go with the experts at Sunrise Movers, where we do the hard work for you.
You want Want a dock that will withstand the wake from a million boats? Want a dock that's different from the usual dock? Then you want Ozark Barge and Dock in Gravois Mills. Ozark Barge and Dock, now celebrating 33 years of building the best dock on Lake of the Ozarks. And we guarantee every dock we build. So when it comes time to build your custom dock, trust the best and go with Ozark Barge and Dock, building the best dock at the lake for the last 33 years.
Your furry friends are more than pets, they're family. And at our veterinary, we understand that. With multiple locations, we can service your pets when and where you need it. Our team of professionals offers routine wellness, orthopedic care from broken bones to joint repair, and even emergency services. We are ready to welcome your pet to our family with medical or preventative care. With multiple convenient locations, our veterinary is the team providing exceptional care for your pet when and where you need it.
Hey, welcome back to What's Burning here on Lake TV. Glad to have you with us. KB, along with the ever popular, the one, the only, Professor Jim Paisley. What's going on, Jim? Great to see you again.
Glad to be here. Yeah.
You know, there's been a lot going on here recently with the Supreme Court and some of the decisions that they've reversed and some of the things that they've talked about. And a lot of people, kind of like Dan Wass mentioned earlier on, are seeing the Supreme Court maybe take the Constitution, roll it up, and smack them across the nose with it just to make sure they're paying attention.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's fascinating. Last week they, if it hadn't been for the certain case about, reproductive choice, the biggest one they made, the biggest one they've recently made was this one with the EPA, which really was huge in that it was West Virginia against the Environmental Protection Agency. And the court ruled 6-3. They came down and said that fossil fuel companies and conservative states, against the EPA, they ruled in favor of the individual companies. And they said, here's the bottom line is the Supreme Court said if it's not in the Constitution, then by golly, then they shouldn't have authority, which, when you think about that, that is absolutely huge, because now all of a sudden you have to step back and look at all of these regulatory agencies and say, does it say anything in there about education? Does it say anything in there about EPA environmental rules? So on and on it goes. And so basically what they've done is the Supreme Court has gone back to the drawing board and actually dusted off that old piece of paper and said, wow, I don't understand how it is that we're doing all the things that we're doing right now. And they came back and looked at something, a major legal issue that hasn't been brought up in a long time, and it's called the Major Questions Doctrine. And basically, it dictates that a federal agency has to have clear authority before it decides on any major issue. And the authority has to come from Congress. Well, in plain English, that means before a federal agency makes a huge decision, they need to go to Congress and say, can we do this? They haven't been doing that. They haven't been doing that for almost 60 years. They just basically create their own ideas and say, well, we'll just make it a rule that you have to do this. And it created what most people refer to now as the administrative state. Now, the unique thing about them is the fact that we're talking about a huge bureaucracy. And I did a little research on it. The administrative state right now is 220,000 federal regulators, 220,000 federal employees. And their sole job, they've got $63 billion budget. Their job is to write and enforce 185,000 pages of rules that you and I have to follow. Now, there's almost 300,000 of these rules. Now, I don't know about you, KB, but when I was a kid, Mom and Dad had 6 rules. You got to come in when the street lights come on. You take your muddy shoes off before you come inside. Sure. Eat everything on your plate. Well, I had a hard time remembering the 6 rules that they gave me. Now, 300,000 rules. Basically, what that means is today, you need to know all 300,000, or next thing you know, you might wind up in the federal slammer and didn't even realize you're doing something wrong.
So you're talking 300,000 rules. So right now, you and I are breaking at least a handful of those just by sitting here doing what we're doing.
I think so. I probably broke 6 or 7 on the way over here, and I know you. There's plenty.
Something we've discussed with you before is nullification, and that is essentially when a state feels as though something that is done on the federal level doesn't apply to them. But that doesn't even exist in this particular instance, because what is going on is well beyond the boundaries of the Constitution to begin with.
Exactly, and you're exactly right on the issue of nullification, in that, we've talked about saying, just say no. Well, what's been happening here is these companies, when it comes to the environmental restrictions, they finally said no. They said, show me where it says you have the authority to do this. Now, what's fascinating about this is the Constitution gives the authority to Congress to make the laws. They did not give them the authority to pass that on to somebody else. And basically what's happened here is Congress, says, well, we're going to turn around and we'll give this to the EPA, and you guys do whatever it takes to make this happen. Well, they took that to mean, well, I'll just make a law. You can't do this, you can't do that. They don't have the capability of doing that. And what we're seeing now is that the people themselves, not just corporations, we're talking the soccer moms and everybody else are stepping up and saying, where do they get off telling us we can do this? And they're challenging it in court. Now, the big difference is that the Supreme Court that we have right now, being heavily conservative, is going back and saying, wow, you're right. It doesn't have anything in there. Now, the fix to that is the Supreme Court is slapping it back to Congress and saying, if you want this, make a law. Well, all of a sudden now Congress is going, whoa, wait a minute.
Right.
If I make that kind of law, do you know how many votes I'll lose? And so that's where the rub is coming now. And I think you're going to see more and more of this happening.
I think this is what really brings two sides together: left, right, conservative, liberal, Democrats, Republicans. I think that this is a good opportunity for everybody to wake up and pay attention. That's why Congress is shying away from it, because they don't want unification. They want diversification.
Exactly.
And they want everybody split up into their own little groups. They don't want people getting along. They don't want people on the same page. They don't want like-minded people. So they don't want to touch this with a 10-foot pole. But interestingly enough, the EPA in this particular instance, looking at carbon emissions, and that's how they got involved with this, the same group that is just giving farmers a rough time with judging everything as a body of water. You've got a lake, sure, a body of water.
Right.
You've got a stream, a body of water. A puddle in your backyard, is that really a body of water? The EPA wants you to think so.
And again, think about that. That's a great example. Show me in the Constitution where it says, Walden Pond is the body of water to be regulated by the federal government. So that's a great example of it. And what's fascinating to me is we could see this coming way back when. And all the way back, there was a fellow by the name of Alexis de Tocqueville. He was a French political scientist. And he came to America in 1831 just to check it out, because it's a new country, he wanted to see what was going on. And he wrote a little note called Democracy in America. And he said, in this document, he warned of a future where excessive government regulation, he said, it compresses and weakens and extinguishes and stupefies a people till each nation is reduced to nothing better than a flock of timid and industrious animals, of which the government is the shepherd. Now, bear in mind, he wrote that in 1831. So the guy had a crystal ball. He's
Apparently
saying,
so.
This is, pretty amazing. And it took almost 80 years before we really started to see this swell. And that happened really under Woodrow Wilson, when he started to look at the administrative state. And he started kind of criticizing the Constitution. He's saying, well, the government knows best. And, we're here to help you. And what it did is it kind of shifted things. Before, the government existed because we created it and allowed it to. But when the Wilson administration came in, they said, no, you people can't take care of yourselves. We're going to turn around now, and we'll let you exist because we're here to help you have a better life.
So where do you think this is going? What is the future of what we're talking about here today? And inevitably, what you feel is going to happen? Are we seeing the Supreme Court getting on board more often with this sort of thing? Do you have a president and his administration that tries to get them away from doing these sorts of things? Where are we headed?
I think where we're headed is that I think you're going to see this has awakened a lot of people to rise up and simply challenge the authority of the federal government on some of the things that they're doing. There's now all of a sudden, when people start to understand if it's not in the Constitution, it's a state issue, you're going to see more and more challenges to this. And when it gets to the Supreme Court, they're going to do one of two things. They're either going to smack it over to the legislature, to the House and Senate, which they don't want anything to do with it, because, like I say, politically it's suicide, or you're going to see the states starting to gain more and more responsibility for these issues. And again, a lot of the states, they don't want to have to make that decision.
No.
You know, you put it in their court, and it's been easy in the past to say, well, we do it because the federal government says so. Well, it was never intended to be that way.
Are we going to do it because it's popular, or are we going to do it because it's right? That's the most important thing. And I hope this is the wake-up call that this country and we the people have needed for quite some time. Jim, thank you as always, sir.
You bet. Thank you for having me.
Appreciate the opportunity to learn a little bit more about what's popular and what's right. And of course, I hope you take the time to learn a little bit more about your United States Constitution. I hope you also take a little time to check out the official bottled water of What's Burning. That's Culligan, Lake of the Ozarks. Great water and a lot more. And all you have to do is pick up the phone to find out. 573-346-5221. We're back with more after this on What's Burning here on Lake TV.
Enjoying What's Burning with KB right here on Lake TV? Have questions, comments, or suggestions? Have an interesting story for KB to tell? Or maybe you want to be interviewed by KB on the show or are interested in sponsoring? All you have to do is reach out to KB at kb@mylaketv.com.
Want to get to know local leaders a lot better? Join Lake TV for a new Community Spotlight show weekdays at 9, 3, and 7. We talk with local leaders to get their story and learn more about their organizations. It's the Community Spotlight show on Lake TV.
While the financial services industry for years has focused on products, pricing, and performance, or things we refer to at SRG as the how, our focus for our clients has always been around their why. And without fail, over all these years, those whys have centered around family, occupation, and recreation. Think legacy issues, retirement, or achieving a work-optional lifestyle, and checking off those important things on that recreational bucket list. Our foundational approach remains a focus on the things that matter most to our clients and the things that together we can control. And where those two things overlap, that's where we live and work every day. That's SRG Financial and the Mile Marker Formula.
Looking for blinds, shades, shutters, drapes, or bedroom makeovers? On a budget? You need Budget Blinds in Laurie. Bring your ideas to us, or let our design consultants help you create the perfect look for your home. Because Budget Blinds is nationwide, our collective buying power enables us to search many major brands to bring you the blinds, shades, shutters, and drapes you want for less. Budget Blinds. Call us for a free consultation. Budget Blinds, the best in custom blinds and window coverings.
Your furry friends are more than pets, they're family. And at our veterinary, we understand that. With multiple locations, we can service your pets when and where you need it. Our team of professionals offers routine wellness, orthopedic care from broken bones to joint repair, and even emergency services. We are ready to welcome your pet to our family with medical or preventative care. With multiple convenient locations, our veterinary is the team providing exceptional care for your pet when and where you need it.
You want a dock that will withstand the wake from a million boats? Want a dock that's different from the usual dock? Then you want Ozark Barge and Dock in Gravois Mills. Ozark Barge and Dock, now celebrating 33 years of building the best dock on Lake of the Ozarks. And we guarantee every dock we build. So when it comes time to build your custom dock, trust the best and go with Ozark Barge and Dock, building the best dock at the lake for the last 33 years.
Hey, Jess. Yeah, Nicole, what do you need? Did you see that new listing in Sunrise Beach?
Yeah, it was just listed 2 minutes ago.
It has 150 feet of lakefront. And a brand new kitchen. I'm headed out there after I type this email. I'm on the phone with my clients. Hey, where are you going?
I already put an offer in, cash above list, and it's looking good.
Are you kidding me?
Gosh.
Hanging out at Ozarks Cat and Canine. KB here with Mary Meow Me Tilly from this wonderful facility where the water's fine and the animals love it. And we're going to be talking about who?
Whittles.
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 Every time now with you. First it's Doodles, now it's Whittles.
Well, and there's a reason for that.
Okay.
Because Whittles came in with Doodles. And we think there's a possibility they may be related.
Yeah, of course they are. Doodles, Whittles, and they're all here at Ozarks Cat and Canine. Let's talk a little bit about this guy. He's kind of clowning around over underneath the chair over there and having some fun in the pool.
So Whittles, just like Doodles, we believe is a lab mix of some sort. We think that he is probably around 6 months old.
Right.
So he may be, he was found with Doodles. Like I said before, with that lady, she took in a couple strays here, took in a couple strays there, and then got a little overwhelmed with everything.
Let's see, that's how it goes.
So she had found the two of them together. So there's a possibility they may be brothers, they may be related, but we do think Doodles is a little bit older.
You bring up kind of an interesting point here. Sometimes people take in animals, they see them, they feel sorry for them, and they can become a little overwhelmed. What is the process that someone needs to go through if they would like to bring an animal to the shelter because they can't keep it or, whatever the case?
So the first thing to do is call. Because a large majority of the time, because there aren't very many animal facilities in this area, a large majority of the time we are full. As soon as we get one adopted out, 2 more come in and take its place.
Right,
usually.
right.
So the first thing to do is call. We do have a waiting list, but what we would do is, if you call us, we'll get all the information, where they came from, how you came in possession of this animal. We want to find out a little bit about its personality and everything. Any dog that comes into us that is 6 months old or older, we do an assessment on. Because we don't have behavioralists here like some larger organizations do. We don't have people who are professional trainers.
Right.
So we have to kind of watch what we take in. And if somebody, if we get in a dog that is aggressive in any way, we don't have the means to deal with that here, really.
Right.
So we try to do an assessment on everybody when they come in. As long as they are dog friendly, people friendly, then we can try to take them in. But it's really just dependent on space and what we have available.
Well, Whittles, kind of like Doodles, is a friendly puppy dog.
He is.
And he would just like a good home. He's, 6, 7 months old, you said? And so he's young, he's energetic. If you've got some kids and, they'd like to have a good pal and grow up with their buddy, Whittles, he's here, he's available.
He's great with other dogs, too.
And he's great, there you go, he's great with other dogs. So if you have other dogs and your dog needs a companion, hey, Lightning needs a buddy. I don't know, we'll have to maybe talk it over there. Poor Lightning is surrounded by cats. He doesn't know what to do with himself. But Whittles is here, and he's here at Ozarks Cat and Canine just waiting for you to come and give him a good home, courtesy of our good friends at our veterinary at the lake and this program that we love to put together each and every week, KB's Furry Friends, on What's Burning on Lake TV.
Your furry friends are more than pets, they're family. And at our veterinary, we understand that. With multiple locations, we can service your pets when and where you need it. Our team of professionals offers routine wellness, orthopedic care from broken bones to joint repair, and even emergency services. We are ready to welcome your pet to our family with medical or preventative care. With multiple convenient locations, our veterinary is the team providing exceptional care for your pet when and where you need it.
Well, the 4th of July has come and gone, meaning it's time for another episode of A Cup of Coffee.
Hey, we've got a bunch of stuff for you. We got your hometown hero for you. We'll talk about a couple of new businesses coming to the lake. And how was your 4th of July? It was pretty good.
Not just that, but lots of events also coming this week, and you can hear all about it on this week's Cup of Coffee.
Yeah, you can see that at 8:02 a.m., 1:02 and 8:02 p.m. Moving to the lake is a lot of work, but not with Sunrise Movers, where we do the hard work for you. For packing up and delivering to your new home or simply loading and transferring your belongings, Sunrise Movers is the easy choice for your next move. Sunrise Movers packs your possessions extra carefully, shows up on time, and strives for 5-star customer service every time. Sunrise Movers, the official movers of Lake TV. Give us a call today to get a free estimate. Sunrise Movers, where we do the hard work for you.
It's our most protective wash yet. Introducing the Quick Car Ceramic Wash. It's an industrial-grade polymer solution with ceramic nanotechnology, resulting in high-end, advanced scientific protection of your vehicle's finish. The Quick Car Ceramic Wash. Try it on its own or with the monthly Unlimited Wash Club today. Quick Car. Quick, easy, and professional every time. Now open in Camdenton with new locations in Jefferson City coming soon.
Hey, I want to thank you so much for joining us for another great edition of What's Burning here on Lake TV. If you got an idea, if you've got an opinion, if you've got something on your mind, feel free to reach out to me directly, kb@mylaketv.com. Thanks to all of our sponsors, SRG Financial Advisors, Bill and Janice Lacasse, Nina and the staff at Ozark Barge and Dock, Carrie Mawson, who I have it on good authority, is going to be joining us in the month of July 21st, as a matter of fact, to be on the program. James and everyone at our veterinary at the lake, you know, they've been taking care of my pets for a whole lot of years. And hey, my pets are just doing Jim dandy. Also, a big thanks to everybody at Culligan, Lake of the Ozarks, Matt, as well as Andrea, Kevin. There's a whole bunch of cool people over there, and they love to set you up with a big bottle or some little bottles and check out your current condition as far as your water supply is concerned. They'll do a little test for you, get you back the results, and let you know how they can help you. 573-346-5221. Stick around and join us for a new edition of the show every Thursday at 7:02, 5:02, and 11:02. Lots of great things coming up in the future. We'll probably do some more with snakes. We might even do some more with other animals, including animals of the humankind. Either way, it's a big opportunity for you to check out what we've got going on here at the beautiful Lake of the Ozarks with What's Burning on Lake TV. God bless. We'll see you soon.